Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, Angie.
I'm here with Michelle McMahon for DS Benefits Group, and she handles the HR consulting arm of our organization. And we also support the benefits needs and organizational development needs as well. And we just wanted to chime in this morning a little bit and have a conversation about this next phase of starting to bring employees physically back to work together, and almost kind of in conjunction with the working from home elements. So there's a lot to that, and Michelle is our expert there. So, Michelle, what are kind of the things that are keeping you up at night right now about bringing employees back?
Well, we're all excited to start getting back to what we would hope would be normal. We know it's probably not going to be what we're used to. And employers are wanting to get the employees together back in the office and start to have somewhat business as normal again. Mm-hmm. We need to remember that one of the main things I always keep telling my clients is the OSHA general duty clause, which reminds us all that as employers, we have to provide an environment that's free of hazards, which interprets to us in everyday life, meaning safe and healthy. So that has to be at the forefront when we're looking forward. And I think caution as we approach, we don't want to be too quick to jump into some of these new developments that we're hearing about in the phases that we have ahead of us.
Absolutely. And I think as you and I have talked about it, there are so many little bullet points that employers have to consider. And when we get in the physical space with people, again, in more of an office environment, to eliminate those hazards is a lot. From what you're looking at, what are the things that you think employers need to keep top of mind today, preparing for 3 to 4 weeks from now?
Well, as we move forward, we need to listen to the authorities that are guiding us, which means, the president, our governor here in Ohio, as well as the CDC. And they have given us a lot of guidance. There's still some information we're waiting as far as, like here in Ohio, we're supposed to start back to resuming some business on May 1st. We don't know what that means yet, so we're waiting. But we want to make sure that we are looking at this approach in a more flexible and employee-focused way. Mm-hmm. We know that we want to have our business operating like it used to, but it may not ever go back to that. And I kind of shied away from that word for a while, but I'm starting to believe we are moving into a new normal, I think. Mm-hmm. And one of the main things is we will not be able to perhaps have all of our employees back in the office right away. We may have to stagger people coming in, especially for smaller spaces. Mm-hmm. Places that have operated okay remotely, we still may have to remotely work for a time or make it an option, just a permanent option moving forward.
Absolutely.
Be concerned about the health of our employees as they come into the office. So that's brought up the question, do we take their temperature? Mm-hmm. Do we have to have some kind of medical information, a document, a form, something that says I'm healthy?
Right.
No, there's no guarantees. So how do we approach all this? Isolation, self-quarantines. These are all new words that we really never worried about.
Exactly.
That we are.
You almost stayed away from it. You didn't really want to ask too many personal questions on how your health is. And now there's the right way to do it. And you've really been working on really this return to work playbook that we'll have available for our clients as well and prospects. And from those key policies, what are some of those policies that you think employers need to look at and get in writing sooner than later for this new normal?
Well, again, keeping in mind that we're going to be open to something different and new, being flexible with our employees. We want to be a more understanding employer too as we move forward. We don't want to be rigid or old school in our approach anymore. It's not going to work. We want to retain the talent we have. And if there are ways to improve them and make them more productive, as organizational development expert, there are lots of options for that.
Right.
But we also know that we can start looking at perhaps a little bit gentler attendance policies, the remote working. That is going to be a huge new policy as far as how we implement it in our workplaces. It may have been in a lot of places before, but now it's going, like I said, going to be the norm. Mm-hmm. As well as perhaps looking at PTO and sick time. And you and I talked about that.
Yes.
This may, we combined vacation and sick time several years ago, thinking we were being great, giving them all one, nice little package. Mm-hmm. Now we're kind of stepping back, and as you and I shared this week, this may need to be divided again to help us be able to use it where it's needed.
Absolutely. I think as more states look to adopt, kind of that paid family leave that many do have already, not in Ohio specifically yet, I think that will be the transition that we make, long
Yeah, so, we're just looking at, we're going to have to look at what do we do with visitors in the office, client meetings, or working with customers. So we are looking at things a little bit differently. And as we're bringing the employees back from perhaps furloughs and maybe even a layoff, we need to look at those. So there's policies that need to be updated as far as, did we even have a return to work policy before? Chances are no.
Right.
The employer really never goes through layoffs anymore, but especially with the nice economy we've just come out of, there's a lot of policies that we recommend reviewing and updating or adding.
Yeah, and we really look forward to that. There'll be an attachment available going through some of these key points and what we can certainly help support at DS Benefits Group. I think the key piece with bringing employees back too is, having that conversation with them. This isn't a blast email like, guess what, you're all back to work on, May 4th. It's not that. It's, we can't wait to see you. This is what we're going to do to keep you safe. There's going to be a little bit of that push and pull to, make sure your team understands what the plan is for the next, 30 days, 90 days. What happens if I get sick the next time? How are you going to keep me safe? So employers have a lot to think about right now. That's for sure.
They do. And I keep telling my clients that I work with to be open to new. Listen to employees. You want to have a cohesive environment where all the employees feel safe and feel like they're, respected by the company. There's lots of things we can do as an employer to give employees that. And now more than ever, we're realizing how important this truly is as we come out of this crisis. And I'm looking forward. We are moving out of it, right? So
that's a good thing. And I think, the number one kind of takeaway too is it's not going to be a light switch. There's phases coming down from every level of the government, and your business will have to mirror those as well, and not hurry back too fast.
No, and what I've been hearing, especially from our governor, our president, is that if something is working for the last week or month and a half that we've been in this situation, it's going to work moving forward. And you're going to have a hard time saying, you can't do this anymore. We can't operate like this. Especially when it comes to different areas that, like, we were talking, ADA and our employees that have child that may be at home. We need to be a new take a new approach as an employer.
Absolutely. Growth and change are good. They lead to a lot of positive things sometimes. So we'll keep putting that perspective on it.
In ways we didn't even think about.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate your time this morning, Michelle. I can't wait till we get to be side by side at the office again. It's nice with it on the screen.
Side by side, but 6 feet apart.
Absolutely. All right. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks, Michelle.
Thanks, Angie.